Okay, so the book I chose for the first week of my challenge was Elon Musk's biography entitled Elon Musk, Tesla, SpaceX and the Quest for a Fantastic Future by Ashley Vance. Now this was a really interesting book, and I probably chose it because of Elon Musk also being a South African, but I also wanted to learn more about the man, really figure out how he thinks and what made him the way that he is. Like any good biography, the book covers a bunch of nice little personal stories about how he grew up and how he got to where he was. This is stuff like when he was a young kid, he used to read up to 10 hours every single day. He also read every single book in the library that was close to his home, and eventually read the Encyclopedia Britannica because he didn't have anything else to read. Then the book also goes into the harsher parts of his life. How he was bullied at school, how the bullies used to beat up his friends so they wouldn't be friends with him. And he once got beaten up so badly that he couldn't go back to school for over a week. It also covers his home life, which as Musk himself said wasn't great. He said that he would get chased around by gangs at school who tried to beat the shit out of me. And then I'd come home and it would just be awful there as well. It was just like non-stop horrible. So Elon Musk really didn't grow up easily. He didn't have an easy childhood. But then eventually he moved to Canada, he studied. At university he used to run a party house which paid for his rent every single month, and then he started his own companies and he grew them, and the book goes into lots of detail about the controversy and all the interesting things that happened. But what I wanted to touch up on next is the lessons from this book and what I took from this book. The first thing that I took from this book would be focus. Elon Musk's focus is crystal clear. It's incredible to see how this guy only does what gets him closer to his end goal in life. And when he was 14, he actually came up with the ultra-logical mission statement, which said that the only things that make sense to do is strive for greater collective enlightenment. And this is what he's working towards with all three of his companies and everything that he does. The next thing would be his incredible drive. This guy just doesn't stop. He works insane hours. He works more than most of his employees, and if people tell him it can't be done, he, a lot of the time, goes and he does it just to prove it to them. The next thing would be, one of the things that he said is that his mentality is that of a samurai. I would rather commit seppuku than fail. And that brings us to how close he actually came to failing in 2008. You read about it in the news and you knew that it was close, but when you read this book you realize that in 2008 SpaceX and Tesla really almost failed. He had to almost choose between one of the companies because he didn't have enough money to run both of them. And what really summed it up nicely for me is what Antonio Garcia, the CEO of Valor Equity, said. And he said that Elon has the ability to work harder and endure more stress than anyone I have ever met. What he went through in 2008 would have broken anyone else. He didn't just survive. He kept working and stayed focused. His ability to stay focused in the midst of a crisis stands as one of Musk's main advantages over other executives and competitors. Most people who are under that sort of pressure fray, Garcia said. Their decisions go bad. Elon gets hyper-rational. He's still able to make very clear long-term decisions. The harder it gets, the better he gets. Anyone who saw what he went through firsthand came away with more respect for the guy. I've just never seen anyone and anything like his ability to take pain. And that taking pain brings me to the last point. I don't think that most people would be able to be Elon Musk. If you look at the hours that he works, the strain that it takes on his body, the little time that he spends with his family and the failed relationships he's had, as well as the scrutiny he's gone under in the media. People have written incredible things about him. I think this guy, it really takes something special to be that determined, to be that focused, and to keep on doing this. Then lastly, one of the things I wanted to give to you as a closing thought is something I noticed in a similarity between a previous book that I did by Simon Sinek called Start With Why. And in that book he says that most people want to work for companies that give them a solid why. And I think that's why Tesla and SpaceX really are that successful. Because Elon Musk gives his employees a very great goal to strive for. He just puts the markers so far away that it seems incredible and completely impossible, but he drives his employees and he's the beacon. He keeps them going, and that's why he gets such incredible work. They do incredible things and the people work so hard in his companies. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'll be back next week with my next one.